Hello, everyone, and welcome into the program this evening. Hopefully, you all have enjoyed your Christmases. We are finally back after a lovely Christmas break here, getting ready for a bowl game tomorrow night. This time tomorrow night, we will know the answer to the question we've been asking ourselves for a couple of weeks here. Will North Carolina beat West Virginia in the Duke's Mayo Bowl? Let's get to the topic at hand. What does a Duke's Mayo Bowl win mean for the Tar Heels? Well, quite frankly, I think we can categorize this into two different categories right here. So, number one being the fan category, which I am, and I have my opinions, and I'll share what my opinions are and what I think the general fan base means and what they're feeling right now, right here in just a little bit. But we have the other perspective, and where I want to go at this at the beginning is Mac Brown and the coaching staff's viewpoint on this. What does a Duke's Mayo Bowl win for them? And it's going to be a lot different than fans are. And you hear him talk about this all the time in his press conferences. So really quickly, I want to read you guys some records here. Now, this is the regular season records or the overall records for the team since 2008. 2008 was the last time West Virginia and North Carolina faced off. Just want to read you this right quick. Going from 2008, and I'm gonna work my way all the way up to this year so far. 8-5, 8-5, 8-5, 7-6, 8-4, 7-6, 6-7, 11-3. That's 2015 with the trip to the ACC championship. 8-5, 3-9, 2-9, 7-6. This is Mac Brown 2.0. 8-4, 6-7, 9-5, 8-4. Why do I read that to you guys? Because Mac Brown likes to say something all the time, and it's consistent to what his viewpoint is. And it differs a lot from us fans. But his viewpoint is saying that 8-9 wins, it means something around here. North Carolina's sitting at 8 wins right now. They're 8-4 currently as we speak right now. They could be 9-4 after tomorrow night or this time tomorrow night, but they could also be 8-5. And to them, they already are thinking that 8-9 wins, it's pretty good around here, which fans, we hate it. I can't stand it. I hate that saying. I hate it so much. But historically speaking, it's correct. Historically, this is just from 2008, and we could have went back farther. The records speak for themselves. North Carolina is generally pretty much a average to below average team on a in and out consistent year to year basis. And Mac Brown and the coaching staff come back in after that those 3-win and the 2-win season. He talks about all the time. 5 wins in 2 years when he came back to win in 7 games, 8 games, back down to 9, then back down to 6, 9 last year, and now 8 this year. So far, with the chance to be a 9-win team once again. Mac Brown looks around at the team and he's excited for what's becoming of North Carolina and what's becoming of his team, because getting back to that 8-9 win basis is pretty good for us, and it's time to take that and move on from there. But it differs so much from us fans. Our fans, we don't like to hear that 8 wins, it's good, it's pretty good around here, or 9 wins, hey, it's pretty good around here. You look at this past year and you see all the talent that was brought into the portal. Tez Walker, Nate McCullum, Amari Gaynor, Elijah Huzzy, Willie Lampkin on the offensive line. You see all that talent there, and all the talent that was developing on the team from their first years. Amari and Hampton, George Pettaway being one. And Amari Hampton really had a blossom out year for himself this year. I thought it was great. Tayon Holloway, same thing. Marcus Allen, same thing. You saw these guys coming in, and you expected something big, something huge. I mean, absolutely huge this year. And unfortunately, that's not what we got. As for Mac Brown and them, they saw a chance to start building on something. And now this is going into this is year 5 for Mac Brown now. They came in and they wanted to reset everything and get this team going. And for them, that's exactly what they're doing. They're starting to get back to where they want to be, that 8-9, potentially 10-win season, or 10-win team, 11-win team. They're ready to push that envelope, and they're excited that they're at 8-9 wins. But a win here for coach is going to be a lot different than maybe a win here for the fans. For coach, it's going to mean a lot more to them. It means, hey, we're 9 wins, just lost our big time quarterback, a lot of big time guys on our offenses. I mean, this is going to be a completely new offense going to be on the field tomorrow night. That's for sure. But this is going to be completely different. And hey, we got our 9 wins. Let's go. That's exactly what we wanted to do. That's pretty good around here. We just got to, consistently keep getting better and everything else. And that's going to satisfy the coaching staff very much well. He talks about it today in his pregame presser that they had in Charlotte, that he said that, hey, I would love to be able to wash mayonnaise out of my hair tomorrow night, when I take a shower. He says, I'd love to do that. Talking 2 years ago in the Duke's Mayo Bowl against South Carolina, he said before the game, he says, man, I'd get hit with a frying pan. I don't even care. As long as we win, it doesn't matter to me. But you see the Duke's Mayo Bowl, it seems like there's a chance for history to repeat itself. We kind of saw 2021, 10th ranked team in the nation coming into the year, ends up a 6-7 win team and a bad loss to South Carolina. Now, granted, you got to give credit to South Carolina. They have really good players on that team, and they were a young, up and coming, hot team at the time, and they just wanted it more that day, and that's perfectly fine. But North Carolina was the better talented team, and they just went in there and laid an egg. And now I think for us fans, we're kind of nervous that we're maybe getting ready to see the same thing, or at least personally, I am. Personally, I'm very nervous that I'm getting ready to go watch my Tar Heels absolutely just go lay an egg in middle of Charlotte again. For fans, this thing's a little bit different. You expected something different this year. You expected something, you know, great this year, a great season. You had a all-time quarterback, a guy that's going to go number one, maybe number two in the draft in a few months here in the NFL draft. I mean, North Carolina doesn't get that very often. The last time we had that was Mitch Trubisky, and it's been a few years now, but still, it's not something you see all the time. You don't see all the highlights and the headlines being on North Carolina in football like you had with Drake May at the helm and the team that was around him and the supposed talent that was there. And you looked around and said, why can't we be this year's TCU? Why can't we be that team? Why can't we be the team that goes out there and is just a sneaky good, goes out there and wins all of their games? And this year, there was a lot of games to win, man. All 12 of those games were absolutely winnable. But for some reason, in 4 of them, you just handed it away. Um, Virginia, that's a game that shouldn't have happened, should not have happened. Georgia Tech, how you let them score that way in the fourth quarter, I don't understand. Clemson, fumbling twice on the goal line to potentially go up 21 zip in the first half. So you'd like to see what that game turns out after that point, if that happens. And then NC State, you just walk in there and get blitzed. Just got dominated. So you look at it for the coaching staff, yeah, they're excited. 8-win team, potentially going to be 9. But how you get to 8 and or 9 for the fans is not a satisfying thing. You would rather be, talking about, potentially Orange Bowl here. Well, considering Florida State got shafted, probably, something else. I forgot what Louisville's going to. The bowl game against, I think it was Southern Cal, which that would have been fun, by the way, because I would have loved to have saw Drake May and Caleb Williams play up against each other, because I think if that bowl would have ended up happening, there's no way both of those guys don't play in that game. There's just no way that doesn't happen. But that's neither here nor there. But one loss maybe on the season, maybe, and you probably give that one to Clemson, just because they're Clemson, and you expected them to be a good ball club, or maybe even Duke earlier in the year, a team that looked really, really hot, really scrappy, and all of those things. They could have been that this year, and you're sitting here 8 potentially 9 against West Virginia. Now let's not crap on West Virginia now. West Virginia is a very good football team. Now they're not this dynamic passing ball club, which I think you look at that. I think their completion percentage this year is like 50 some odd percent. It's pretty porous, but they can run the football. That's for sure. What is North Carolina's kryptonite? Having the football ran against them. It seems like if you want to pad your stats, go play North Carolina and run the football, man. That's all you want to do. If you're a running back, get ready. You can run on this team, it seems. But does it matter? What does a ninth win mean to the fans? Well, depends on the kind of person you are. Now, me, I'm the optimist. I'm the optimist here. I'm the optimist of the bunch. So for me, a ninth win. If North Carolina was to go out tomorrow night and get the ninth win, to me, what does it say? Well, considering that we're going to have a bunch of brand new guys out there on offense, Connor Harrell, Chris Culliver, um, uh, some linemen that's going to get to play in there. On the defensive side, you're going to get to see guys like a Caleb Koss, Amari Campbell, which I'm very excited to see. I have high hopes for that guy. I think he's really the next. I think he's going to be a good player for us. You're going to get to see some guys out there that are new and that are young and that are freshmen, and you get to see them play. And if they go out there and they play well and they put together a good campaign and they go win, man, this isn't a bad West Virginia team at all, man. They're a good team. So this is a solid win for them. This is a chance for a solid win for them. And if you're a fan, to me, if you get the win and you get the ninth win, all right, you're saying, okay, bad season, but maybe with the young talent, we got a little bit of a future here. Maybe the future isn't so grim without Drake May at the helm, which a lot of people talk about, and I guess I can understand to some degree. If you're the coaches, what does it mean? Well, honestly, I think in the coaching room, it means a little bit something different. See, for the fans, a ninth win probably doesn't mean too much to you. Probably doesn't. But if you're a part of the coaching staff, considering that no moves have been made on that coaching staff, you might want to get your ninth win and get it convincingly, especially if you're on the defensive side of the ball. Gene Chizik, I'm kind of aiming this at. If you're Gene Chizik, you're hoping to God that you don't have a Baylor replica here, because this is a chance to do it. This is a chance for that to be very much replicated. Now, Baylor could throw the ball a little bit better than West Virginia can right now, but West Virginia is a really good running football club. And guess what they're going to do? If I'm West Virginia, I'm telling you your game plan. Go run the football. Just go run the football. Dare North Carolina to beat you. Do that. Just run the football and say, okay, stop us. And if you stop us, okay, maybe we'll do something else. But I'm probably still going to run the football because you're just going to get tired anyway. But, we'll see. If you're in the coaching staff, this game means a lot to you. Mac Brown, this should mean a lot to you. I think it already does, and I think that's kind of a given to him. The way he always talks and portrays himself when it comes to games like this. I think it absolutely means a lot to him. But honestly, this right here could be a shot for someone on the coaching staff to basically say, I should keep my job. I should keep my job because Mac Brown has already called out the defense. And I'm really zoning in on the defense when I say this. If you're a defensive player, you're facing a team that is getting ready to come at you and hit your biggest weaknesses. So how will you coach your guys? How will your guys respond? Coaches can coach. Players got to play. That is true. Players are also playing for something here. Playing for, if you're a young guy, you're playing for, potential reps in the future, a starting position in the future. If you're a senior, you're probably trying to, like a Miles Murphy, who's we could have many conversations about, is playing for a contract. Like, this guy declared for the NFL draft. Personally, I don't think he's ready, but we'll see. He has to go out here and he has to go prove himself. He really does. And you might want to go have a monster game because, if you don't, boy, I think you may actually truly regret leaving the school early. If you're a coaching member, you're trying your best to hold on to your job, unless you just don't want to be here anymore. But I think it really does mean something to a lot of people, especially Gene Chizik. If he means what he says by, that he wants to be here, but he understands if he doesn't need to be. If he truly wants to be here, this is a game you need to scheme your tail off and say, listen, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to get physical with these dudes because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take physicality. It's going to take execution, physicality, especially the physicality. And I emphasize physicality. West Virginia is a physical football team. You just got done playing 3 straight. You did good against Duke, I'll say. Decent. You did decent, and I'm shaky on that, against Clemson. He had a chance to go win that game, especially up front. Very proud of the offensive line there. Unfortunately, he did not do that. And then you went up against State and got just absolutely railed. I don't know what that is. So there should be a bitter taste in your mouth about how last game went. And you should take all your frustrations out on West Virginia. To me, even though I know, West Virginia doesn't have as many players not playing, I don't believe. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. I absolutely think that North Carolina can beat this West Virginia team. They can. Now, will they is a good question, but I definitely believe that they can. This game, to me, in my personal opinion, it could have some serious implications. Coaching wise, and also the future. What does the future look like? I know we got Max Johnson and Jake Johnson coming in, along with Austin Blasky and Tyrone Stewart, and what's the dude that just committed from State? Keenan or Kareem something, something of that nature. I'm not too sure exactly what his name is. The future for North Carolina looks semi-bright. You got some great guys that came in. I do like the rule that the NCAA did with allowing players to, if you were an early enrollee and you were graduated early from high school, you can come, practice with the team. I do think it's a pretty cool rule, because, if you're able to have your grades up and everything in order to do that, that's pretty cool, man. It's a good reward. Especially for a student athlete that is continuing into college and is committed to a team, because you get to kind of get in a little bit early. Kind of heard that from Jenny Norwood early today, about him being able to come in and kind of get the ball rolling a little bit there. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about what a potential ninth win for North Carolina in the Duke's Mayo Bowl would mean. What would it mean if they don't get it and they go 8-5 this season? Tell me what you think down in there. I want to hear both sides, your fan perspective and your coach's perspective here. I want to know all of it. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And I'll see you all next time. You don't want none. I'm good.